Hi, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Colburn School. I'm Maisha Merchant. I'm the CFO here and head business development for the Colburn School. So we're really happy to have you all here at the Colburn School, and I hope you're enjoying yourself today. We will have a treat later on for you, and we're just so delighted to have the Digital Evolution Institute hosted in Los Angeles for the first time at the Colburn School. My background actually is in the intersection of business, technology, arts, and so I'm really excited about the fact that we are doing this panel today. I think it's very important, especially being in Los Angeles, that we talk about the future of arts, entertainment, and media. So we have a lot of great guests, and I'll let them each introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Nicole Buffett. I'm an artist and founder of Nicole Buffett Studios, a company that incorporates physical art, digital assets for social good.
I'm Kelly Richards. I run my own company called the All Access Group for the past couple of decades. I am a former record label exec who went on to become someone who's bridged Silicon Valley and Hollywood for the last several decades. I was responsible for, I had the privilege of being mentored by Steve Jobs from when I was 16. Cupertino is my hometown, and I still live there. I was responsible for birthing the initial focus for the company on music and entertainment, and led that focus for the 12 plus years I was there as an employee, and then helped to launch iTunes. And since then, since leaving Apple, I have been at the forefront of all manner of technologies and innovations that help create new revenue streams for content creators, new ways to engage their fans and their audiences, and very happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Ajay Kapoor. I'm very much a right brain, left brain type person. I went to Princeton. I did a degree in computer science and music. I then went on to do a PhD in 5 subjects: computer science, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, psychology, and music, where I made robots that could play music with me on stage. I then got recruited here to LA to work at California Institute of the Arts, where I am now. I'm Associate Provost for Creative Technologies, where I'm basically leading, teaching engineering to artists, which is very scary. And I'm also a very avid entrepreneur. I feel like entrepreneurship is the new research for the world. It doesn't happen at universities as much. It happens at startups. So I've been leading a lot of startup development at the school and bringing youth into that world, as well as helping a number of different companies get off the ground.
So impressive, my goodness, right? Sorry, just saying. Hi, guys, and good morning to everyone. My name is Consuelo Vanderbilt Costin, and I am a Billboard recording artist, and I have spent most of my life as a musician. It's been the greatest gift, and I have also, just as you, left right side brain, have my family background and really just wanted to create something, and I built my company called Soho Muse, which we define as like the LinkedIn for creatives, but everything that LinkedIn doesn't provide for creatives, we do. It was very important for me, really growing up as an artist, that I did not have a lot of mentors. So at 21, 22, being signed, it was really a very hard process, like navigating that world as a singer-songwriter kind of, and as a female in a really male-dominated industry. It was really challenging. So in building this company, we have multiple tiers, and our younger tier really helps to mentor young kids, both in high school and in colleges, and giving them the opportunities really to create the mentorship opportunities that they may not have and get access to the talent that they wouldn't have, which then in turn leads to internship and job opportunities. Because my narrative is, I don't know why that people think that creatives shouldn't be paid. It's a really interesting concept. It's amazing that lawyers, doctors, and everyone else should be paid. Why shouldn't the creatives be paid? So that's my narrative. My narrative is actually changing the industry and actually helping to really build our creative economy, which is $2 trillion and growing. Why aren't we getting paid? So that is Soho Muse, and it's been the greatest journey, the most challenging journey, but also the greatest journey. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here. I'm Celine from Stars Collective. Talking about Collective, we are more like a community of artists, talents, filmmakers. We are working on tech, both tech and entertainment, try to do the new generation content creating for the next generation audience.
Great, thank you so much. And I'm just going to switch to the next slide. As a panel, we actually met beforehand, and we're trying to talk about the future of arts, media, and entertainment. And we said, well, there's so much to talk about, and what should we cover on this panel, because we only have a few minutes. And so really, there were 5 key themes that we came up with. One is the creator economy, then talking about the new creative forms, VR, AR, experiences, gaming, and the metaverse, which you already heard on several of the panels prior to this. We also thought about we need to really address artificial intelligence, as well as what role art plays in terms of inclusion and the perceptions that our society has. And then we also, given the fact that we have a lot of investors here, family offices, we said, well, you can monetize art, and as Consuelo talked about, artists should be paid, and so we said, let's cover this topic. So we're going to try to touch upon these topics during this time, and we'll start with the first question, which is associated with the new creative art forms. And so I believe our audience is very interested in talking about the breadth and depth of innovation. And so, Kelly, would you like to address this question first?
Everything I was going to say, I kid you not, DJ Ski said. I was listening to him going, well, there's 10 minutes. So, ditto. Yeah. And again, I have been privileged to be at the forefront of a lot of those technologies. VR, gosh, we launched VR with QuickTime 30 years ago. AR, not quite here yet, but sort of. Immersive audio, immersive video. Of course, my alma mater just launched the big seismic boom 10 days ago in the new Spatial OS platform at Apple and the Vision Pro headset, which again, as Scott was sharing, is not where it's ending. It's just the very nascent beginning, even though it's been a lot of years in the making. When we can get those headsets to sexy glasses where they're built in at a normal price point as opposed to $3,500 and rich experiences, that will be a seismic game changer on the magnitude of iPhone and some of the other things we've seen in the last little while. Including, some friends of mine launched this venture here in LA called Dreamscape Immersive some years ago, where you would strap a jetpack on your body and go into a theater. It's still here. There's a Century City has a facility for that at the theater there. And you basically can feel like you're immersed in the jungle, in a rainforest, on the moon. Well, with these new headsets that Apple just came out with Vision Pro and the new Spatial OS platform, people will be able to experience those kind of things anywhere, anytime without a device. You could have a 110-foot 4K screen in front of you just by strapping on that headset and ultimately the glasses, which I'm going to say are about 5 years out, and just point like that, and you're wherever you want to be anytime. So we have Metaverse, which of course was spoken about earlier in some depth for younger fans, and they're really diving in. Again, very nascent, as I think DJ Ski said, a $600 million industry. It's going to trillions in the next decade. And then we have business models that are evolving along with all the technologies, where fans are being able to invest in the songs of their favorite artists and participate in royalty streams and, things like contests to win unique experiences because they are super fans among themselves, who gets to go backstage somewhere, who gets to have a private concert with Taylor Swift. All of these things are happening in the realm of fan engagement, and that's something I've worked on a lot over the last 27 years. So I'm, of course, very excited because I always live at the bleeding edge of disruption and innovation, and the media, music, arts, and entertainment sector is the most dynamic place to experience a lot of that, in my humble opinion.
Jay, would you like to talk about this too, especially given your immersive art startup?
Sure. So, how many people here are from out of town? Okay, so across the street is an incredible museum called the Broad. It's free. You should definitely go. So imagine if you took that and, don't laugh, but you combine it with Disneyland, okay? And that is what I believe is the new space of immersive art, right? We're in this new economy, the experience economy. You know, millennials and Gen Z, they don't want to spend money on random plastic garbage. They want to go and have experiences. They want to go do things with people, especially after COVID. They want to be with people. They want to connect with people. They want to go out and they want to take pictures or whatever for TikTok, right? So that's this new incredible space. And there are also at the same time crumbling malls where every store is going out of business, right? But they're actually really important because they play such a big role in community building in all of these, especially in suburbia. So there's a huge opportunity for immersive art. So taking small spaces, 20,000, 30,000 square feet, and getting the best artists who also know technology to come together, bring the latest technology, and usually the most successful things aren't headsets or aren't things that people share. It's more like passive, where you can go through and look at things like AI art or projection mapping is a really big thing, right? Transforming a space, bringing you into these spaces. And Disney Imagineering has really driven the innovation in that space for the last 20, 30 years. They're the ones who build the parks, but those are very expensive experiences, and they're also very tied to their own IP. I think what the immersive art space is going to allow the people to do is tell their own stories, let cultures tell their own stories, let locals tell their own stories, and essentially show you what's the best in breed and create a ton of jobs for artists.
And experiencing that ultimately in your own home or wherever you're located with the devices that was just announced 10 days ago, where you don't, the downside of that is you're not interacting with a bunch of other people. But yeah, that's what's going to be possible.
So I'll just piggyback off of that, and why don't we talk about technology as a culture-shaping tool and how important technology can be in your art. Nicole, why don't you?
Yeah, I really started embracing technology right at the beginning of the pandemic when I realized that, there was going to be no physical art show, and I was introduced to Clubhouse and then became introduced to NFTs and blockchain technology, and it really was the only way to share my work at that point. So it was kind of a last resort in some ways, which now has become completely centrifugal to my work. And I'm a traditional painter who makes physical art, and the process of taking that physical work and turning it into digital work just allowed for so much more content to be shared. And it really kind of awakened all these different aspects of what it looks like to allow the audience into my work, whether it's writing, attaching music, animating the work. I started collaborating with people across the world. My first animator was Raymond Malinga, who is, I think, one of Disney's first African animators based in Uganda, and I was connected to him through a friend who was in the space. So, in this time where we felt really disconnected from each other, it was like kind of technology took me into this hyper connection experience, accelerated connection, and bringing kind of, my origin source work into the technological space has just been transformational and incredible for me personally.
That's great. And Celine, let's move into the movie space and how technology is impacting the world of movies.
Yeah, I think I really have the feeling that for our generation, especially for Chinese people, when I was birth, we don't even have a television, and today we are speaking with our phone, do some FaceTime. When the biggest question for European filmmaker, because I have the background from Europe, that's how we can bring audience to the new generation, streaming or other kind of style or type of content creating. When people ask me this question, I will say, it's you can't realize that world is already changing. When I watching my daughter who is already in metaverse today, how as a content creator, how we can satisfy their needs in the future. So that's why Stars Collective are really embracing about innovation. We really want to work on innovation because it's just to find out other different way to better immerse our audience, give their a better experience. We've been talking about French cinematographer Frères Lumière brother at the very beginning of their idea to create a cinema. I think they want to bring a kind of immersive experience to their audience. And today, as a content creator, we are doing the same thing, but we just do with different content, style, form, etc., like we are like other type of creation. Yeah, that's
Great, thank you. And at the last panel, we heard a lot about AI, ChatGPT, LLMs. So both loved and feared. How does AI impact the arts? Kelly, would you like to start?
Yeah, in a massive way, actually. And again, it's been going on for a while, but now it's going to take off at scale. A big part of my background has been working with the music tech space in particular, and I think I've been involved with AI for music for about a decade at this point. The fact that dead artists can be reanimated because their voice and their instrument can be completely replicated by AI is both scary and exciting, as well as people that are no longer just members of the band. They might still be alive, but they're no longer members of the band. As well as people that are just not musicians at all, that want to create original music, can do it just by humming and tapping a beat with an AI in seconds and have a fully arranged song that's their own to be used as a bed under any manner of video, graduation, footage, weddings, summer vacations, and then share that with people around the world, maybe even monetize it if other people want to be derivative of the works they created. These are non-musicians. And specifically the AI for music sector and generative AI is probably about $230 million space in 2022. It's a 10x increase in the next decade. So that's just music tech. When we come to film, I've been dabbling on the edges of special effects space for the last 30 years. That's very computationally intensive, and that's where the power of AI can really generate a lot for content creators in that sector by saving a lot of time and a lot of money. And it's not going to replace jobs necessarily. It's an augment tool for the visionaries that are wanting to create those special effects. It just makes everything faster, cheaper, and easier. So those are a couple of examples.
Jay, would you like to add on?
Cool. So we've been playing in that space for the last 25 years or so. And back in the day, like at our labs at Princeton, like you couldn't run neural networks in real time. We would like invent stuff, and then it could be used at scale later. So one thing that all of you already use, for any of you who listen to music, right? The way AI started with music was genre classification. So it would you would take your music set, we would label them, and then it would try and teach the computer, like, okay, this is a jazz song, this is a rock song, this is a whatever song, right? And that has now been turned into Spotify and everything, Shazam, like all these different types of technologies that help you recommend what songs you would like next, right? It's learning what you like. What I've done in my labs is take those type of technologies and essentially add performance tools to them. So how can a live musician use these things on stage? So for example, in that type of system, we worked with beatboxers and DJs to be like, okay, we're pulling up, you can query a database of music by actually beatboxing, right? So you can go, right? So that's my query. Now give me all of the beats that come up like that. And that uses 3 levels of AI to actually make happen. And over the years, as all of these technologies get faster and faster, we can start getting those type of things on stage. I've built a lot of robots that play music with me, and I need AI because there's 150 moving parts on a stage, and I can't program that crap myself, so I gotta let them learn it themselves. And for the future, like I will say at CalArts, as we're teaching people to code, in fact, I don't even let people into my program anymore who don't even put code in their portfolio. That's where we are. So by the time they leave, they are taking multiple levels of artificial intelligence. And so like I was saying before, like it is scary. If you teach an engineer AI, they'll do what they tell you to do. You teach an artist AI, holy shit, they're gonna innovate and make something crazy.
Yeah.
That's great. And so moving on to the creative economy and the importance of the creative economy, especially in the state of California, where it's over $500 billion and nearly 2 million jobs. Consuelo, you've done a lot of work in this space, important work, so I'd love for you to talk a little bit about the creator and creative economy and the work you're doing with Soho Muse.
Thank you so much. I think one of the verticals we really haven't discussed here is about fashion. And it's really one of the biggest industries in the world, and it's projected to rack up to 3.3 trillion by 2030. I mean, that is just staggering. And if we look at how technology has actually made it easier for fashion brands to showcase their fashion designs to a wider audience, I think that really during, COVID and kind of really watching how it accelerated, just to really kind of give you some data points here. You being an Apple, and nearly 60% of all online retail purchases in the US were done on Amazon alone last year. So domestic retail price went from 56.7% in 2021, from 28.1% in 2014. It's just insane. So those kind of numbers, really just understanding that. And also just they're saying that the e-commerce market has plenty of room to grow and could increase from 3.3 to 5.4 in 2026. So again, when we talk about the creative economy and we talk about these different various verticals that we're discussing, I think when people get scared, right, and parents get scared about, oh my God, I don't want my child to get into the creative industry, it's like they actually make an enormous amount of money. It's shocking, but we actually do. Right? So I think it's just really understanding.
And they're happier.
What?
Happier.
It's happier, and yeah, we actually are happier people, and also they're actually making money. So I think it's just important when, this is the other side of the brain to just, on family office and venture capitals where you're learning about the data points, which is important. These are the statistics, and these are actually facts. So I think that COVID, as sad and as destructive as it was for many retail stores, just to use that as an example, on the e-commerce side and what it actually ended up doing, and for up-and-coming fashion brands, it actually became unbelievably successful too. So, yeah.
Great, thank you. And I'd like to wrap up our panel with a prediction for the future of arts, media, and entertainment. So I'd like each of you to please give us one line on what your prediction is, and we'll start with Celine.
Our prediction is innovation, and the core of the innovation and the storytelling is the creator. That's why Stars Collective want to have the community of talents to collaborate together for the future. So I think I want to say whatever innovation or technology bring us so many wonderful things, but the core, the creativity, and also the I lost the words, and the creativity, the storytelling will not change. We just change the form.
I would completely agree with you on so many levels, because we look at what the metaverse is of today, what that was before. If we look at Second Life, who in this audience knows about Second Life? Exactly right. Who in this audience would say Second Life is what the iteration of what Second Life was 10 years ago to what metaverse is of today?
More like 20, but okay.
More like, okay, good. But 20 years, yes? So would we then agree in the concept that, yes, things just repeat themselves, right? But it just gets more innovative, it just gets more advanced. But I think that creators in general, we live in our imagination, right? So I think the combination between technology, imagination, innovation, as you said, pioneers, it's what we live and strive for, right?
So related to what you were talking about last, like as an Indian person, my parents wanted me to be a doctor or an engineer. But my prediction of the future is that being a creative and an artist will be up there. So it's exciting.
So succinct. Wish I could be that succinct. What can I say? I mean, I say that tech innovation and new business models will continue to disrupt and deliver richer experiences for consumers while also creating new revenue streams for content creators. That's been my life that I've been immersed in for all these last several decades. But more specifically, if I had to pick one thing, and I'm always right about where technology is headed, my crystal ball is sometimes cracked on the timeline. But I'm going to say 5 years out, we're going to have those Apple sexier versions of what Google Glass tried to do 20 years ago as an iteration of this new Vision Pro headset, where it's going to be at a great price point and people will have the most amazing, richer experiences they can possibly conceive of when that's finally at mass adoption at an affordable price point, about 5 years.
I love that I'm now Dr. Artist Nicole. No. It's truly a creative renaissance, a renaissance of spiritual renaissance, a physical renaissance, a renaissance in every way. And as a friend says, traveling at the speed of spirit. So wear a seatbelt.
It's wonderful. And I'll just say my proclamation rather than prediction, given art's ability to unite, connect, and heal, I really hope that it'll be the rise of the arts and the artists. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.